The phone buzzed on the kitchen counter like it was screaming. I was pouring coffee. And then I saw the group chat name change to family only. My name wasn't in it anymore. I opened the message anyway. One text. From Mom. We need distance from you forever. Please stop contacting us completely. My hand froze midair. The mug slipped, shattered on the tile. Hot coffee splashed my bare feet, but I didn't feel it. I stared at the screen. Everyone had reacted with a heart to Mom's message. Dad, my sister Claire, my brother Mason, even Aunt Linda, who always said I was her favorite. All hearts. No one typed a single word to me. I typed, "What is this?" 3 dots appeared, then vanished. Read 9:47 a.m. Delivered. Then blocked. My name is Sony. And trust me, nothing about my life used to feel this cruel. I stood there in the pieces of the mug, breathing so hard my ribs hurt. The house was dead quiet except the drip-drip of coffee hitting the floor. I kept waiting for someone to call and say it was a sick prank. No one did. I walked to the living room like a ghost, opened my laptop, Facebook. They'd made a new private family album called Peace at Last. First photo, all of them smiling at brunch, taken yesterday. Caption from Claire. Finally feels like a real family again. I zoomed in. My face used to be on that fridge behind them. The photo was gone, like I'd been erased before the text even came. My chest started caving in. I grabbed my keys, drove to Mom's house on autopilot. 23 minutes. I know because I counted every red light. I rang the bell. Nothing. Rang again. The curtain moved, just an inch. I saw Mason's eye peek out, then disappear. The porch light clicked off. In daylight. I called Dad's cell, straight to voicemail. His voice cheerful like always, left a message that cracked halfway. Dad, please. What did I do? Heard the beep cut me off. I sat on their front step for 2 hours. Neighbor Mrs. Carter walked by with her dog, gave me that pity smile. She knew. Everyone knew except me. Finally, the garage door opened. Claire backed out in her white Jeep. She saw me, locked eyes for half a second, then looked away and drove off. Didn't even slow down. I followed her. I know. Crazy, but I needed one person to look at me and explain. She pulled into Starbucks. I parked 2 spots away, heart slamming against my teeth. She walked past my window without glancing. Inside, she hugged 2 cousins I hadn't seen in years. They laughed loud, like they were celebrating. I got out, walked straight to their table. Claire, she froze. The cousins went silent. Claire's mouth opened, then closed. Sony, you shouldn't be here. What did I do? My voice sounded small, even to me. She looked around like I was embarrassing her. We talked about this as a family. We voted. Voted? I laughed, but it came out broken. When? I wasn't there. You never are, she whispered. Then louder. Just go. One cousin, Jenna, pulled out her phone like she was ready to call security. I backed away. My own family treating me like a stalker. That night I sat in my car outside my apartment, afraid to go inside. Afraid the emptiness would swallow me. I opened the blocked group chat on my laptop. Some glitch still showed old messages. Scrolled up, and there it was. 3 weeks ago. A message from Mom. We need to talk about Sony. Something has to change. Then Claire. I can't keep pretending everything's fine. Mason. Same. It's exhausting. Dad. I agree. Enough is enough. No context, no explanation, just enough is enough. I kept scrolling, hands shaking. Found a private thread between Claire and Mom, accidentally left visible. Claire, if we cut her off cold, she'll finally get the message. Mom, it's the only way. For all our sanity. My stomach flipped. They planned this for weeks, while still texting me, love you, every night. I slammed the laptop shut, then opened it again, screenshot everything, saved it to a folder called Proof I Didn't Sleep. At 3:12 a.m., I got a single email from Dad's account. Subject, please respect our boundaries. Body, 1 line. We're happier this way. Attached was a photo, all of them on the couch I grew up on, holding a cake that said, New Beginnings. My childhood dog sat in my old spot, wearing the sweater I bought him last Christmas. I threw up in the kitchen sink. The next morning, I tried work. Couldn't. Called in sick. My boss texted back, take all the time you need. Even she sounded careful, like she knew. I went to the bank, needed air. The teller looked at me weird. Then I saw it. My joint savings account with Mom. $42,000 I'd been adding to since 16. Balance, $0. Transferred yesterday. Memo line for family emergency. I stood there swaying. The security guard asked if I was okay. I wasn't. I drove to the police station, tried to file a report. Officer said it's a civil matter. since my name was on the account. She had every right. He looked sorry, but sorry doesn't give money back. That night I sat on my bathroom floor, staring at the one text I hadn't sent yet. To the family group I was still somehow in on an old phone. My thumbs hovered. I typed, "I respected your distance. Now respect this. I know everything. And I'm not the one who should be scared." I hit send, then turned the phone off. When I turned it back on, 48 missed calls, 87 texts, all from them. Starting with, "Sony, please call us," and ending with, "You're overreacting." I smiled for the first time in days. It hurt my face because they had no idea. I'd just found the first piece, and it was only the beginning. I didn't answer any of them. Let them drown in the silence they taught me. 3 days later, Mom showed up at my apartment, alone, knocking soft, like she was afraid I'd call the cops. I opened the door 2 inches, chain still on. She looked smaller than I remembered. Eyes red, makeup smeared. "Sony, baby, can we talk?" I stared. Said nothing. She tried to push the door. I didn't budge. "Please, it's not what you think." I laughed, short and ugly. "Then what is it, Mom?" She glanced down the hallway like someone might be watching. "Not out here. Let me in." I closed the door, unchained it. She stepped inside and immediately started crying. Real tears this time, or good acting. I was done guessing. She hugged me. I stood stiff. "I'm so sorry," she whispered into my shoulder. "We never meant—" I pushed her off. "Never meant to steal my entire savings? Never meant to vote me out like trash?" Her mouth opened, closed. "How do you know about the money?" I just looked at her. She wiped her face. "It was only temporary. Your dad lost his job. We were going to pay it back." "Stop." I walked to the kitchen, grabbed the printed bank statement, shoved it into her hand. "Temporary looks a lot like theft when there's no plan to return it." She scanned the page. Face went white. This wasn't supposed to happen yet." Yet, that word burned. She sat on my couch like she still belonged there, started talking fast. "Your brother needed rehab, private facility. Insurance wouldn't cover. We were desperate." "Mason?" I cut in. "He'd been clean 2 years. Swore on my life." Mom looked away, then nodded. I laughed again, louder this time. "So you drained my account, threw me away, and now you're lying about why?" She stood up fast. "I'm not lying. Ask him yourself." "I can't. You all blocked me, remember?" Her phone buzzed. She glanced. Panic flashed across her face. "I have to take this." She stepped onto my balcony, door half closed. I followed quiet, heard Dad's voice through the crack. "Is she buying it?" Mom whispered. "Not yet." "Dad, stick to the story. We end this today." I recorded it. Every word. When she came back in, her tears were gone, face hard. "If you fight us on the money, we'll say you gave it willingly. We have texts." I smiled. Slow. "Send them." She blinked. "What?" "Send the text where I said, 'Take my $42,000 for Mason's fake rehab.'" "I'll wait." She had nothing, because they didn't exist. She tried one last card. "Claire's pregnant. Stress isn't good for the baby." I felt the knife twist. Claire, my best friend since diapers, was pregnant and didn't tell me, used it as a weapon instead. I opened the front door. "Get out!" "Sony, out." She left crying again. This time I wasn't sure which parts were real. That night I went through every old backup, found a voice note from Mason 6 months ago, slurring. "I owe some bad people, Sony. If I don't pay, they said they'll come for the family." Then laughing. "But don't worry, I've got a plan." My blood went cold. The money wasn't for rehab. It was to save their lives, and they chose to sacrifice me instead. I called the one person I hadn't spoken to in years. Uncle Ray, Dad's brother, ex-cop, hated the family drama. He answered on the 3rd ring. "Sony? Been a while." I told him everything, sent him the screenshots, the recording, the bank info. He was quiet too long. Then, "Kid, you just opened a hornet's nest. Why?" "Because your dad's been laundering money through Mason's business for 2 years. And those bad people, they're about to come collecting." I couldn't breathe. Uncle Ray kept talking. "The family didn't cut you off to protect you. They cut you off because you were the only one clean enough to turn them in." I hung up, stared at the wall. They didn't just rob me. They framed the exit so I'd never ask questions. Then my phone lit up. New text from Claire. 1 photo. Ultrasound. 20 weeks. Caption. Your niece or nephew. Thought you should know before you do anything stupid. I screamed until my throat bled. They were using an unborn baby as a shield, and I still love that baby. That was the worst part. I sat on the floor, rocking, broken. Then I stopped crying, wiped my face, opened my laptop, and started gathering every single thing they'd ever tried to hide, because if they wanted distance, I was about to give them an ocean. I disappeared. No social media, no location on, new number, told no one, not even Uncle Ray, where I was staying. I rented a studio 2 hours away under a friend's name, cash only, bought a burner laptop, and I worked. Every night I added to the file, insurance_policy_Sony bank records, Dad's hidden LLC, texts where Mason joked about cooking books, screenshots of Claire selling prescription pills for the family, Mom's forged signatures, even Aunt Linda moving money offshore. I had 47 pages, and I wasn't done. Some nights I couldn't sleep. I'd sit in the dark, whispering, they think I'm broken, but they don't know what I know. I started getting weird emails. Anonymous. Just drop it. You're tearing the family apart. One had a photo of my apartment building. From inside the lobby, they were watching. I almost caved, almost called Mom crying, begging to come home. Then I opened the ultrasound photo Claire sent. Zoomed in. The date on it was wrong. Taken 3 days after she claimed she found out. Another lie. That was the last time I almost broke. I contacted a forensic accountant, friend of Uncle Ray. Paid in cash. She went pale reading my files. This is federal prison level, she said. How much do you want them to suffer? I thought about it, looked her dead in the eye. Enough to feel what I felt, times 10. She nodded, gave me a name. FBI contact who owed her a favor. Special Agent Torres, white-collar crimes. I met him in a park, wore a hoodie, handed over a USB, no names. He asked, you sure you want this? I said, they left me for dead. This is them waking up. He took it. 2 weeks later, he texted the burner, warrants incoming. Stay gone. I smiled in the dark, then cried anyway, because justice still felt like losing. The day before the raid, Claire showed up at my old apartment, knocked on the empty door. I watched on the building camera I'd paid the super to install. She was huge now, really pregnant, crying, left a note. I'm scared. Please come home. And I didn't move. That night, Mason called the old number 38 times, left voicemails sobbing. They're saying I could go away for 20 years. Sony, please. You're my sister. I listened to every one, then deleted them all. At 6:03 a.m., the raids hit. News alerts blew up. Local family arrested in $4.2 million fraud scheme. I watched the live stream. Dad in cuffs, Mom screaming, Claire on the lawn, hand on her belly, mascara running, Mason face down on the driveway. Reporters said the evidence was overwhelming and anonymously submitted. I turned off the TV, sat in silence, waited for the relief. It didn't come, because they still had one card left. At 7:42 p.m. my burner rang. Private number, I answered. Claire's voice, shaking. The baby's coming early. Stress. They won't let me call anyone else. Silence. Sony, please, I'm begging you. I closed my eyes, heard the pain in her voice. Real this time. I hung up, stared at the phone, hands trembling. Then I grabbed my keys. They think I'm broken, but they don't know what I know. And they definitely don't know what I'm about to do. I drove 120 miles per hour the whole way. Didn't care if I got pulled over. Just needed to get there before I changed my mind. Hospital parking lot was chaos. News vans everywhere. I slipped in through emergency, hood up, found labor and delivery. Claire was alone in a room, no cuffs, too pregnant. Guard outside, but he was watching TikTok. She saw me and burst into tears, real ones, ugly ones. Sony. I stood in the doorway, didn't move closer. Where is everyone? Arraignment tomorrow. They wouldn't let Mom come. She gripped the bed rail. Contraction hit, her face twisted. Monitor beeped fast. I walked in, took her hand. She squeezed so hard I felt bones shift. I'm sorry, she kept saying, over and over. I didn't say it was okay, because it wasn't. Hours blurred. Nurses came and went, didn't recognize me. At 3:17 a.m., the doctor said, one more push. Claire looked at me, terrified. I can't do it without you. I nodded, held her leg, counted with the nurse. One scream later, my niece was here, tiny, perfect, crying like the world already owed her something. Claire sobbed, looked at me holding the baby. "What's her name?" I asked. Claire whispered I was going to name her Sony, then cried harder, but I don't deserve to. I stared at this little human, felt something crack open in my chest. Not forgiveness, but not hate either. The guard finally noticed me, started asking questions. I kissed the baby's forehead, handed her to Claire, walked out before security came. 2 days later, visitation at the county jail. I signed in as family. They let me through. Mom first. Looked 20 years older. Orange jumpsuit swallowed her. She grabbed the glass. "Sony, thank you for the baby." I said nothing. She kept talking. "We're ruined. Everything's gone. They froze all the accounts, even the real ones." Tears. "I know you did this." I leaned forward, voice low. "You stole my money, lied for years, threw me away like garbage. And now you're surprised?" She looked down, then up. "There's something you need to know." She slid a folded paper under the slot. "Your college fund, the one Grandma left? We never touched it. It's still there, in your name only. $187,000. I stared at the paper, account number, my name, untouched. Mom whispered, "We're monsters, but we're still your monsters. That money was always yours." Next was Dad. Wouldn't even look at me at first. Then, "I'm sorry I wasn't the man you needed." First time he ever said it. Mason laughed, cried like a child. "Thank you for coming to the hospital," Claire told me, then quiet. "I'm done lying. Whatever you need me to say in court, I'll say it." I stood up, looked at all three of them through different glass walls, said the same thing to each. "I didn't do this for you. I did it because someone had to stop the poison, and it couldn't be me staying quiet anymore." I walked out, didn't look back. 6 months later, I stood in my new apartment, paid for with Grandma's money, walls painted soft yellow, baby pictures on the fridge, ones Claire mails every week, no return address, just photos and a Post-it. She smiled today. I visit once a month, supervised. Claire's out on bond, house arrest ankle bracelet. The baby knows my voice. Reaches for me. Some days I still wake up shaking. Some days I almost call Mom just to hear her say sorry again, but I don't, because the text they sent, "We need distance from you forever," became the best thing that ever happened to me. It forced me to build a life where no one can vote me out, where my worth isn't decided in a family group chat, where love doesn't come with conditions I can't see. I kept the screenshots, the recordings, the evidence. Not for revenge anymore, for proof that I survived them. And every single day I look at that tiny girl with my name and I whisper the same thing. "You will never know what it feels like to be erased." I made sure of it. That one final message I sent, the one that started it all, they still have it. Claire told me it's the lock screen on her phone now, a reminder. And sometimes when the baby laughs in my arms, I almost feel peace. Almost. What would you do if this happened to you? Tell me in the comments. Thank you for watching Revenge Cut. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of betrayal, justice, and redemption. Until next time, stay strong and never stop believing in your truth.